Good afternoon, family. Happy Wednesday, and today is the first day of Lent, and there's typically is when people give up something for Lent. Now, if you're doing it for religious reasons, then obviously great, go for it and do it. And obviously be mindful of the things that you are going to choose to give up. So typically what people tend to do is they'll give up chocolate, alcohol, sugar, things like that. Some people will do all of those all at once. Some may pick one. Now, the issue that I have with people kind of giving something up for Lent, unless it is for religious reasons, then some people and quite a lot of people try and do it for health reasons, and it doesn't really work. Now, what happens is that you may give it up for a few days, a week, or maybe longer. You may give it up for the whole time of Lent. So for the duration of Lent, you may give up whatever it is that you've chosen to give up, the food, the drink, whatever it might be. And great, if you do it for that period of time, great. A lot of the time, people don't stick to it, and they then see themselves as a failure because they haven't been able to abstain from whatever it is that they're trying to give up for Lent, and they then obviously see themselves as a failure, and they can then go on to a bit of a binge and either drink a load of alcohol or eat a load of chocolate or whatever it might be, because they're like, well, I've failed, I might as well just eat it all and drink it all and overcompensate for the times that they haven't eaten it for. Or they might get to the end and they've eaten, or they've not eaten or drank whatever it might have been that they've chosen to give up for Lent, and it's then over consuming that food. So it might be at the end of Lent, after Easter, they then say, right, I'm going to eat a whole load of chocolate because it's Easter, there's chocolate everywhere, and you've given it up for the last however many days, and you then obviously consume as much as you can, probably your body weight's worth of chocolate, to make up for the time that you have restricted yourself from that food. Now, I'm not a fan of restrictive dieting. I believe that it should be everything in moderation, and you should enjoy and consume the food and drink that you enjoy. Because why should you have to restrict a certain food group or drink? Now, if it is an issue in your daily life, and it is a habit that you have created, that you are overindulging, over consuming those foods, drink, whatever, and it is an issue and it is having an impact on your health, then yes, definitely restrict it for a short period of time. You don't need to restrict it for a prolonged period of time, and then you can start to reintroduce it at a later date. And maybe with that short restriction, it might be that you don't consume it as often or as much when you do reintroduce it back into your diet. And this is the thing with kind of people that do the kind of 30-day detox diets or 14-day detox, or they take these magic pills and magic supplements, that they restrict so many things from their diet for 30 days. So they'll have, no processed foods, no sugar, no alcohol, really mindful about what they're eating, and they're probably exercising more than what they were before. Because they've got into this mindset of, I'm doing this detox, I'm being really restrictive, and I'm cutting everything out, so I'm really going for it. And the problem then is what happens when you reintroduce those foods back into your diet and you go back to a normal way of living. Typically those foods will then come back into the diet, and you obviously kind of start to gain the weight again. So that's obviously not ideal, and again, not great of that restrictive mindset. So my big ethos is, rather than restrict, think about reducing. So if you are consuming chocolate, let's say, on a daily basis, or alcohol on a daily basis, rather than restrict it completely from your diet, maybe start thinking, well, how can I reduce it? What do I need to do to reduce it? Is it just a habit that I've got into, that I'm just eating chocolate because I'm just it's there and I'm reaching for it and it's easy to have? Is it that you're not eating enough of other foods, kind of whole foods, proteins, vegetables, things like that are going to keep you fuller for longer? Is it that you're not hydrated properly, so you're reaching for those foods because you think that you're hungry when really you're thirsty? And like I've said, typically it can be habit when it comes to reaching for those sweet things, or alcohol. And also another thing that comes is lack of sleep. So you reach again for the sugary fix, to give you that extra energy because you've had poor sleep. So if you are thinking of giving up something for Lent, rather than thinking about completely restricting something from your diet for the whole period, think about, well, I'm not going to restrict, but I'm going to reduce. And I'll reduce having whatever it is that might be. And again, don't overwhelm yourself with too many things. Don't say I'm going to give up this, and overwhelm yourself with far too many things that makes it far too difficult for you. Just have a look at your lifestyle right now, look at your diet right now, and think about what it is that you maybe could do with reducing. And then maybe flip it the other way, rather than, right, I'm going to restrict or reduce something out of my diet. I'm now going to include more of this. So for example, it might be over the next few weeks, you're going to make it a point to spend more time with friends, with family. You're going to spend more time reading a book. You're going to spend more time focusing on you as an individual, practicing mindfulness, meditation, whatever it might be, something that will benefit you, make you feel happier, healthier. Spending time obviously with loved ones will really, really help you, rather than having that restrictive mentality or even reducing something out of your diet or your lifestyle. So when you kind of add more into your lifestyle, so like I've said, seeing friends, family, spending it with loved ones, doesn't mean having a drink or eating loads of cake with those people, but if you really want to, then obviously go for it. But when you start doing that and including more things into your life, so let's use meditation, reading a book, doing something that's for you, you may then potentially do or include less of the chocolate, the alcohol, the cakes, because you're doing something that's benefiting you more, making you feel happier, healthier, and you're less inclined to reach for those food, drink that you might be having at the moment as a habit. So if you are going to give up something for Lent, go for it. If it's for religious reasons, obviously go for it, and I wish you all the best. But if it's not really for religious reasons and you're just trying to do it on a health perspective, it's really not that healthy to do that. So really do reflect on your lifestyle and your diet at the moment, and think about, do you really want to cut it out? Do you really want to restrict yourself from that food or that drink? And maybe it might be that you just reduce it and include some other things within your daily life or your weekly life that will make you happier and healthier. All right, hope that's helped. And any questions, comment below. Speak to you soon.